Hi there, I'm Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. In this week's video, we're going to be planting some species tulips. Let's get started. Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, it's been a hot minute since I've been here. There's been a lot going on this year, a lot to do with my health, reenacting. I've been doing a lot of crafting. I picked up another new hobby, needle felting, which has become incredibly absorbing. And yeah, because of one of the illnesses that I have, makes it sound like I've got thousands of them, I have one illness, which is unfortunately gallstones. It's making it incredibly painful to do things in the garden, to bend, to pull weeds out. I've got so much ivy in the front garden, it's not true. And that is stalling me on one of my biggest projects, which was to plant up 95 new tulip bulbs for this spring. It is the 3rd of January and I still haven't done it yet. My biggest hurdle with that is the amount of ivy that has grown over last year out in that front woodland bed. It is so thick I can't see where I've planted things, so I'm pulling it out as much as I can and when I can, and I've filled several brown bins with it. We'll get there. I know I haven't got much longer to get these planted, so I'm just going to keep chipping away at it. The ones that I can plant are these species tulips. So I bought this pack from J. Parker's, not sponsored, and there are 15 tulip humilis violacea black base in here. These are a species tulip, so they're much smaller and more slender. I think the leaves are a bit more strappy, a bit more like a bluebell leaf from what I've seen. And a lot of the humilis have a bright blue, vibrant sort of, how to describe it? It's a bit like a midnight blue, but it's more vibrant. It's probably not dissimilar to my fleece, actually. But this one has a black centre. So there's 15 in here. I'm going to use this plastic pot, which has been in the greenhouse for a little while, waiting for the perfect project. We had a touch of snow the day before yesterday, and it's starting to now melt off the roof of the greenhouse. I did get some of my bonsai in before the weather turned, but I didn't get around to doing all of them. I also had a nasty fall in the garden, and it's actually really knocked my confidence in the garden, which is crazy, because I know what I was doing was daft. I knew I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing quite the way I was doing it, but I really hurt myself and I really badly sprained my ankle. And yeah, it's ridiculous. It makes me sort of second guess myself when I think about coming out in the garden, which is bonkers. And the garden's my happy place. Anyway, another change is I have got myself a new DJI microphone system, so fingers crossed my audio is much better and I won't get any more of that horrible sound, which I have to edit out as best I can, but sometimes it's really hard. I've been practicing with it on my other channel, Created by Rebecca, and I did do lots of posting on there through October, November, December. So that was fun. There's lots of Halloween projects. There's a needle felting advent calendar that I did. So I've been honestly really busy over there. I just haven't been busy over here, so I'm sorry. My bonsai did, they've had a kind of fallow year this last year. I just let them exist. I didn't do too much to them, to be absolutely honest with you. Yeah, reasons. So this isn't going to be the world's most exciting, groundbreaking video that you've ever seen. It is literally me just having a chat and planting some tulip bulbs. The first thing I'm going to put in is some crock. And just in case you don't know, crock is like the term we use for broken terracotta pots. So terracotta pots will eventually sort of get degraded by frost, or you might just drop one and break it, and they become really useful in the bottom of other pots because they will help stop the compost and soil clog up the drainage holes. And definitely with bulbs, you really want to maintain the drainage. Had I not moved that pot, you would have seen there's hardly any in there. There's just enough to cover the drainage holes at the bottom. I will now replace them. And the fun thing about using crock is that actually some of these pots hold a lot of memories for me. There's one particular one that every now and again will resurface. It's the rim of quite a big terracotta pot that had a kind of Greek key design around it. I had my agapanthus in it for years until they got too big and I had to sort of up the planter size because I didn't want to break the group up. And the pot had degraded as well, so just destroying a perfectly good pot. But that pot belonged to the gentleman who I considered my grandfather. He wasn't, he was just a very dear friend of my grandmother's and of our family. But I'd never known either of my grandfathers, and he was the closest thing I knew to a grandfather, and he was an incredible man. He was during the war in the SOE, and he unfortunately fell off a roof while he was working after the war and broke his spine, and was then in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, paralysed from the waist down. Never saw the wheelchair, I just saw this gentleman, and he was so kind and so generous, and he was a scoutmaster and so giving and so caring. And every time this piece of crock turns up when I undo a pot, I think of him, and isn't that lovely? So, yeah, you may not have pots that hold that kind of memory for you, but you might think of the plant that you first put into that pot, or I don't know, I'm waffling now. Compost. So I've added to the pot some peat-free compost, my favourite B&Q one, not sponsored, and some horticultural grit. I'm just combining that together. Again, bulbs of all sorts, if you're going to put them in a pot, they really, really need the drainage, so don't be afraid to put grit in. It's getting cold. It's actually like a fraction of a degree over freezing right now, so it's pretty cold. Why am I not inside the greenhouse? Because it is currently stuffed full of dahlias, so I can't actually get in any further. So here's my pot. I've got about 6 inches off the top of the soil surface to the rim, which is going to be about right for these bulbs. They need at least twice the bulb's height to be covered in compost. So, to try and show this to you, it's going to be a bit tricky. It is. That is 3 bulbs height. So that leaves me a lip for watering as well. So this is about the right level to be planting these bulbs at. Before I do that, I am going to use something I haven't used before, which is bulb starter. You plant straight on top of it. You can use it for tulips, daffodils, alliums, corms such as freesias and crocosmia, stem tubers like potatoes and begonias, and root tubers such as dahlias and daylilies. I didn't know that. It is RHS endorsed. What is it meant to do? Increase nutrient uptake, improve flowering, prolonged flower. That's easier for you to say. Prolonged flowering and better germination. It's vermiculite, mycorrhizal fungi for a perfect partner to life. And there's a seaweed meal as well. And that's going to help with root development. Okay. It says to use about 5 grams per bulb, and that's about a teaspoon. I am just going to sprinkle a layer onto the soil surface that I've got. And as with all mycorrhizal products, you do want to make sure that the thing you are growing and that you want to interact with this is actually sat directly on top of it. So we're going to take our bulbs and start placing them. I'm not trying to bury them, I just want to seat them, basically, so they don't all just roll over, because I'm tipped at a slight angle so that you can see. And we don't have to worry so much about the planting distances as you do when you're planting out in the open ground. When you're in a pot, you've got the opportunity to plant a little bit closer together. There we go, that's 10 around the outside and then 5 in the middle, and I can go ahead and finish filling up the pot with compost and some more grit. I'm not going too mad with the grit that I place above compared to the grit that I put below the bulbs. Mainly what I want it to do is to help stop the compost forming a hard pan over the top. That can make it difficult for the bulbs to actually push through nicely. So I'm just using it almost as a braking agent to keep the soil moving. I've got a very happy little robin flitting around me that can see me planting stuff in soil, and it keeps sort of hovering nearby. At least these are well down in the soil, but I will have to put something over the top. To stop them getting in. Probably the sort of thing I use over the top of my sempervivum. And because I'm rubbish at remembering what I've put in pots, I've written a label for it. And hopefully this great big one won't just get immediately ripped out by the blackbirds, because they love pulling out all of my plant labels. This pot can now go and sit in its flowering location in the garden. I don't need to do anything to it. The rainfall will water it, and that will signal to the bulbs that it's time to start growing. The sun will start to warm the pot and the soil, and that will tell the bulbs to get growing. I can just wait for the lovely fireworks when they arrive. Right, that's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me during this extended break. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye.